beautiful patience. You need to be understanding. Listen, I'm going to get a big reward to try and be the best person I can, even during my hardship and pain. You know what it will do for you? It will help you heal your heart, and you will not break the hearts of others. We should all be. And charity begins at home. You start in your own house. When you're at home, learn to speak to your family members in the most beautiful way. What does it cost you? What does it cost you? You want your heart to heal? Learn to heal the hearts of others, and learn not to break them in the first place. And you know what? Allah will protect your heart from ever being broken. Allahu Akbar. Similarly, if you want paradise, one of the things that comes to hinder your entry into paradise is when you've done something against others. The reward of your acts of worship that were piling up actually goes to someone else altogether. What was the point? You do your salah, you do your Quran, you're hurting. You're really making people cry because you live with them and you're not considerate of them. In that particular case, you're hindering your access to Jannatul Firdaus for nothing. For nothing. Imagine, for no reason, I'm hindering my path to Jannah. The path to Jannah is filled with sacrifice, and it's filled with patience. You need a lot of patience. And this is why Allah Almighty expects us to do as much good as we can so that we can get into this paradise. Like I said when I started, your package, that's the word. Remember, it's your package. Part of your package is your marriage might be delayed. If your marriage is delayed, it's not the end of the world. You're not the first person. Don't give up. Some people say, well, you know what, I'm already 30. Giving 30? Some people haven't even thought of marriage at that age. I agree, some marry very early, maybe 20 and so on. There's no specific time frame in Islam to say you must be married by this time here. But there is an Islamic teaching that says you must try, because in the trial there is a reward. Whether it's going to happen or not, and when it's going to happen, and how it's going to happen, and with who it's going to happen, that is in the hands of Allah. Did you try? Yes, I did. Allah will reward you. You know, people say, I tried, it didn't work, and I got married very late. I found a guy, or I found someone, and I did my istikhara. Istikhara is when you're asking the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a specific way. And it was all looking so positive. Why did Allah make it so positive when I was going to end up in a divorce? Because now I'm divorced. And I feel I shouldn't ever have gotten married. And I sit and I said, you know what? The fact that you went through it for the sake of Allah was already rewarding. Result in your ultimate entry into paradise, because you went through something and you struggled quite a bit, but you were still thankful to Allah. Your struggles brought you closer to Allah and not drive you further away. That's your paradise. So Allah Almighty is telling you that you need to try. In that trial, there is a reward. Wallahi, the Almighty will fix you. The Almighty will fix you. Allah says, فَإِمْسَاكٌ بِمَعْرُوفٍ أَوْ تَسْرِيحٌ بِإِحْسَانٍ. In any marriage, we need to understand this beautiful teaching of Allah, where He says, you either hold someone in goodness, in that which is common, or you release them with goodness. But you don't have to hurt someone. You got along? Well done, mashallah. I'm so happy for you guys. You've got a beautiful home. Like they say, it's a house on fire. You know, I don't understand why they use that term. When you really get along, they say like a house on fire. I wonder why. Have you ever thought of it? Does it make sense? That house on fire. House on fire is supposed to be something, you know, negative. But sadly, in the English language, house on fire means, mashallah, they get along. So you get along, we're so happy. When you don't get along, Allah is warning you to say He's watching what exactly you're doing. If you know it's the end of the road, you better part ways in a beautiful way, with goodness. Listen, we're not getting along, and we've got to go our own ways. And if the divorce happens, then you will end up divorcing in a respectable manner. If you have kids, there will remain some form of connection between you forever. Because you have children. You are the mother, or you are the father of the same children. There will be contact, communication indirectly in most cases, and in some cases maybe direct. Don't abuse that. I've known of a lot of men sometimes where if they, for some reason, in some circumstances, have direct contact with their ex, they make life a misery for that person. Wait. Allah will come for you. Allah will, you may never understand initially. Later on, when someone reminds you, you say, why am I struggling? Why did this go wrong? Why did I make a loss? I usually ask, have you harmed someone? Have you hurt someone? You know what? You're hindering not just your Jannah, but even your worldly life. That's what it is. So make sure that you understand Allah Almighty is great. Allah has chosen for you a package. Live within that package. It's called destiny. Your destiny is written. Sometimes you could do so many other things, but if you use your wealth, when you get it, to do something illegitimate, unacceptable, haram, displeasing to Allah, who is losing their Jannah? Who is losing their paradise? As it is, we would have lost this worldly life because we lack contentment in it. When you lack contentment, you end up looking for contentment in a place where it is not found. It's not found. In fact, when you end up sinning, you end up even less content. Even if there was a bit of it, it goes. So remember, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant you goodness. Ask Allah. Keep asking Allah to guide you. Like I've said always, the most repeated dua and supplication ever is Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. Guide us to the straight path. That's the most repeated supplication ever. The Muslims repeat it billions of times on a daily basis. Why is it the most important and most repeated? Because that is the core of everything. When Allah's guided you and they don't want to, but because they show this interest that, I want to marry you, inshallah, so I just want to get to know you. No. Don't drop your guard. Do not drop your guard. It is the path of losing contentment because you're losing Allah. If this person is really serious, they will be honest with you. They will tell you the facts. Or they will be man enough to come over and do the right thing. But for them to just develop, what happens? Your heart is gone. Heart. We're talking about healing hearts. You're actually just letting go of it. To where? Into the ocean. Into the ocean that has waves that you couldn't read between the lines. So don't give your heart away to someone. Give it to Allah. Hold it. Make sure you know when to proceed and make sure you know when to hold back. If there is no proper marriage, I don't donate my heart. No chance. I don't donate it because it comes without the blessing of Allah in that case. When there is the blessing of Allah, I can let go of it. I always tell my own family members that, anything you found on this earth, you're going to have to leave it. So don't get too attached to it. Did you hear that? Anything you found on this earth, no matter whether it's people, whether it's material items, whatever it was, anything you found on this earth, you are going to have to part ways at some point. So do not get too attached. The natural attachment to your children and your parents, and that's a natural attachment, but it shouldn't be so much to the degree that you can't let go. Subhanallah, imagine, I know of cases where the child gets married and the mother or the father still interferes in the life and controls every aspect of the life of the child. You're going to have to let go a little bit. Come on, you have to let go a little bit more, and you might have to let go almost fully. They're independent, they're old, they're married. They cannot have you continue to dominate and control the entire life. Is going to mess up the whole relationship. But no, we want that connection as though without us, they're not going to be able to do anything. No chance. Without you, they might do a better job actually. May Allah Almighty forgive us. That attachment is not so healthy. To a degree, yes. But beyond that, beyond the point, no. You may have to leave it and quit it. Now, my brothers and sisters, that family I'm speaking about, the family unit, do you know, on the globe today, because of social media, many people are withdrawing from, let's go to the human beings. I'm on the street and I'm taught to smile. So I look at my brother and I say, Assalamu alaikum, give him a smile. What did I do? Charity. Who's this guy? Wallahi, I don't know. Allah, I have no idea. But why did you smile? Because Allah loves this deed and He taught me the deed. But you don't know this person. Yes, it's a random person. We got to get from there to the random human beings, there's a big reward. If it is not just random, someone related to you somehow, wallahi, there is a double. One is that of a relative, one is that of a Muslim, one is that of a human, all those categories. So the closer they are in relation, the greater the reward. Do you know why? It's more difficult sometimes because the interactions are a lot. When you interact with someone so much, you start seeing a little bit of their weaknesses, you start disagreeing with a few things. You see them once in a while, you're so excited, so happy, mashallah. Especially when they are parents or a little bit older. Do you know why there's a bit of distance sometimes? Because they might have to guide you, and people don't like that guidance. Don't dress like this. Who said that to you? Who are you to tell me? I can tell you I'm your father. Do I have a right to say, yes I do? Subhanallah, I'll be rewarded to tell you. Maybe the fathers need to choose maybe a better way of saying things, because the generations are changing in the way they perceive advice. But that doesn't mean they were totally wrong. They had the right. If you get angry, if you distance, if you no longer want to be in the company of, simply because they corrected you, wallahi, there's something that needs correction here, maybe on my part. May Allah make it easy. So there is a greater reward the more they related to us. It increases my chances to go to paradise so many-fold, because they're no longer just an animal, and they're no longer just a cat or a dog. In fact, it's a human, and it's someone close to me. Imagine if that was your spouse. So here goes. Here goes. خَيْرُكُمْ خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِهِ. Here's the Prophet. All times you've got to be so good to them in order for you to achieve your paradise, not to make a hindrance between you and Jannatul Firdaus. Family, my brothers and sisters, family is extremely important. You only realize it later on. So don't pluck out completely. Sometimes you have to move because of numbers, and sometimes because of convenience, and sometimes because you don't want a problem. It looks like it's brewing. You have to move a little. Always learn never to burn bridges with family. Don't burn the bridge. There might be a little bit of turbulence. There might be a bit. Go out to maintain the relation. Go out to mend. ليس الواصل بالمكافي إنما الواصل الذي من إذا قطع رحمه وصلها. A person who's a good maintainer of relations is not the one who has a tit for tat relation. You do, I do. You visit, I visit. You feed, I feed. You send, I send. No. A true maintainer of relations, the hadith says, is the one whom, when the relation has been severed, they make an effort to mend it. Whether you were right or wrong, that's my family. Never mind who was right and wrong. Obviously, it depends what it is. If it's something major, someone committed murder or something, there's a different ruling. But we're talking of the general issues that people face. Family. Why is family so important? Here's the reason. Simple. Because Allah chose that family for you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who decided that you are coming onto this earth. You didn't decide. None of us is here by choice. Not one. No one. You are not on earth because you wanted to be here. No ways.